What's going on, everybody? All right, what's going on? Lakers over the Mavs, 129-119, the final score. I'm here in the arena. Need everybody to start moving. You guys, try to do a post-game show here. Would really appreciate it if you guys just kind of start working your way out of the arena. A little bit of respect here, huh? I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Hopefully audio is good. Hopefully we're all good. Obviously, for doing a game or for doing a post-game show here, it's probably not going to be perfect, but we'll do our best to try to get through it. So just give me a quick heads up if audio is good and you guys can hear me all good from there, and we'll get the show started. Let me see if I got this right here. If I'm correct here, I thought they were saying this right at the end, and I'm going to double check here as far as how many in a row this is for the Lakers. 6 wins in a row for the Lakers. They go 4-0 in group play. They find themselves now 15-4 on the season, and their latest opponent that they take down is the Dallas Mavericks, 129-119, the final score. By the way, pretty close as far as you want to call it, maybe the first 3.5 quarters. Dallas hanging around the entire time, but it felt like the Lakers were in control. I guess you can say that. Reposition. Get comfortable here. I'm going to be here for 45 minutes. Might as well get comfortable. Pretty much in control of the game, I guess you want to call it. Overall for the Lakers, kind of doesn't really matter how you get some of these wins. Just the biggest thing is, are you walking away with a W? And are you putting yourself in a position where when the dust settles, the team is getting better night in and night out? I think the Lakers are accomplishing that. I mean, 15-4 to start out the season is incredible. And obviously we're going to hit on a lot of that stuff here for the post-game show. All right, let me first kind of break down a couple things. Let me start off with a couple of individual performances. Ooh, the lights are bright now. Let me start off with a couple individual performances. So right out the gate, what I would tell you is looking at some of the individuals, Luka's going to do his thing, and I'm going to get into Luka. We'll spend some time on Luka Doncic, and we'll talk a little bit about his performance. But I do want to start off the post-game show tonight. Let's talk a little Austin Reaves. I mean, this is a few games in a row now for Austin Reaves where he's looked comfortable. He's definitely looked like the type of Austin Reaves player that he was early on in the season. You guys remember he had that groin injury. And, ever since that really happened, it didn't feel like he was the same player. It didn't feel like Austin Reaves looked the same. I talked to you guys a little bit about his he just seemed a little off. And I guess what I mean by off, you could look at it a number of different ways, but I would say one way to describe it is just things didn't look fluid for him. How good has he looked these last couple of games? I mean, to have a game where Luka Doncic is on the floor and Austin Reaves goes through a stretch, specifically in that third quarter, where he's kind of the go-to guy to get buckets. You know how hard it is for a player like Austin Reaves, who's not going to have the ball in his hands. He's going to have the ball in his hands 50% of the time at best of how often Luka's going to have the ball in his hands, and he still drops 38 points for the Lakers. Let me give you his exact stats here real quick. By the way, if the laptop's shaking a little bit, everybody that's walking, steps go, the whole area shakes a little bit. 12 of 15 from the field for Austin Reaves. Hit 6 3-pointers for the Lakers in only 8 shot attempts, and ends up, like I said, with his 38-point stat line. I think, to me, that's the thing that stands out most. By the way, another 8 rebounds for him. He had 9 rebounds in the previous game, so still kind of doing the little things on top of what he's doing. But the thing that stands out to me more, when Luka drops 35 or 38 or 40, I'm not trying to downplay it. It's not that it's not a big surprise, or it's not that it's not a shock or anything like that. But I think the thing I mean by it more than anything else is, okay, yeah, but Luka's going to have the ball in his hands. Luka's going to be determining what the Lakers are going to do offensively. Luka's going to be dictating, all right, am I going for a bucket or am I facilitating? He kind of gets to do anything he wants at any point. Austin Reaves doesn't have that flexibility. Austin Reaves doesn't have and that's not like a bad thing. I'm not saying that is a bad thing. You got to give the ball more to Austin Reaves. That's not my point here. My point is more that if you're Austin Reaves, and you have to be very selective with the shots that you take. You have to be very selective with when you're doing certain things. And you're still able to go there or go out and drop 38 points. He had 38 points on 15 shot attempts. 38 points on 15 shot attempts. That's incredible. That really is. And I hope you guys understand just how difficult that is for a player to be that efficient, still got to the free throw line, still got his 8 rebounds, like I mentioned, and only took him 15 shots. Yes, he gets to the free throw line as well, but that's one of the advantages that Austin Reaves brings to the table. So just phenomenal stuff from Austin Reaves tonight. Big-time buckets, hit shots in a timely manner, hit big-time threes. So, I mean, I cannot find I can't find anything negative to say about Austin Reaves tonight. It's not always like that. I think I've told you guys, if there's one area that I complain about with Austin Reaves, it's typically his three-point shooting. Tonight he was 6 of 8 from 3. So obviously nobody has anything negative to say in regards to that. Let me jump around a little bit because I do want to talk about a couple of these other players here as we continue to roll on the post-game show here. You know who was kind of clutch tonight? Just kind of came through at the right moments and made big things happen, I thought, that I wasn't, exactly expecting. Just me, or did Rui hit some big-time shots for the Lakers? I felt Rui was clutch tonight. I don't know what his box score was. What is he, 14 points? 14 points off 13 shot attempts, that's not a big deal. But is it just me, or did it feel like every shot that he hit was a big-time bucket? It came at a key moment. He had a couple of threes late in the fourth quarter there, or maybe midway through the fourth quarter, that I did think gave the Lakers a little bit more momentum, gave them an opportunity to kind of pull away. So just real quick from Rui Hachimura, I thought obviously that piece was great. Just 14 points, but he was able to do it efficiently. Let me get to some of the other players. I want to look at the comments, and then we'll talk a little bit about Luka. By the way, I went on hit on Anthony Davis. I want to hit on D'Angelo Russell as well today. There's a few other guys that I want to hit on in the position that the Mavs are in. We'll do scores around the NBA. We'll look at the standings and see where the Lakers are. If I'm right, I think Denver lost today, so the Lakers might be second in the Western Conference. They might have lost to the Spurs if I'm correct here. All right, let me hit on a couple more of the players here real quick. As far as LeBron goes, 13 points for him. Nothing special for LeBron, but let me. This is the only thing that I want to say in regards to LeBron, and I think you guys will know what I'm referring to here when I hit on it. If LeBron has a game, tell me at what point in LeBron's career has this ever happened? LeBron has a game tonight where he gives the Lakers 13 points on 7 assists, 5 of 13 from the field. Tell me any point of LeBron's career where he can go 5 of 13 from the field with 13 points and 7 assists, and the team LeBron's playing on wins by 10 and puts up 129 points. That's honestly the only point that I want to make in regards to LeBron's game tonight. Wasn't anything special, wasn't anything crazy. LeBron can be a very average player for the Lakers this year, and they could still win a game. LeBron could be the 5th highest scorer for the Lakers, and they could still win a game. Ayton gave you 17 and 8 tonight. Rui gave you 14 and 4 tonight. Luka gave you 35. Austin Reaves gave you 38. LeBron was the 5th highest scorer for the Lakers tonight. They won by 10, and they put up 129 points. Tell me at what stage in LeBron's career, at any point of his career, was that okay? Can you get away with that? You can't. There's no stage in his career where he's able to do that. That, to me, is probably one of the more impressive stats that we're going to see tonight, that LeBron had the ability to not have a great night, to have 13 points with 13 shot attempts, 7 assists. Obviously, give him credit there. He was facilitating. I want to say he had 5 or 6 assists in that first half, but was able to obviously do what he did. He was the 5th highest scorer for the Lakers in this game, and the Lakers won. Guys, that never happens. That literally, genuinely, you'll never see that in regards to LeBron. That's never been a part of his career, and with the Lakers this year, he's got the ability to do it, primarily because there are just special scores on this Lakers team. Luka, 35 and 11. Austin Reaves, 38 and 9. And then you got other guys that could contribute as well. So I don't know what, to me, that just stands out so much to me. That's just, it's a pretty phenomenal stat to just look. If you want to just look at LeBron and say, he only had 13 and 7, not a big deal. But I think if you look deeper into it, you're saying to yourself, wait a minute. LeBron had 13-7, and Lakers put up 129 points. LeBron had 13-7, was the fifth highest score for the Lakers, and they could almost still put up 130. I think that's just tells you kind of where this team is. It tells you how many weapons that they have, and it's really more of a compliment than anything else. So phenomenal stuff there. The fact that Lakers are still able to do it there. And listen, this isn't a surprise. Lakers played the first 14 games without LeBron. They can win without him. Clearly they can. But I do think if they do want to get to some of the, obviously to a stretch of the season, or I'm sorry, if they want to get to as far as they can in the playoffs, they're going to need LeBron, and they're definitely going to need a healthy LeBron. Okay, let me keep going on some of the players. What do you guys think of Ayton tonight? What do you think? I didn't really feel his presence. Nothing crazy. Had a couple of gimmies around the basket. Did have the highest plus-minus of any player on the Lakers. I thought he did his job. Nothing crazy. I don't think anybody's going to sit here and say, "Oh my God, was that Kareem out there?" No, it was DeAndre Ayton. But 17 and 8 for him. I'll talk about Anthony Davis in a little bit. But if we're just talking Anthony Davis versus DeAndre Ayton, 17 and 8, AD 12, 5 and 5. Now he's a little bit on a minutes restriction. He's been out for a while, so we know how talented Anthony Davis is. That isn't the question. The question with AD is just, is he going to be available? So you had Rui hit some clutch shots. You had LeBron with the 13 and 7, and we talked about, what that meant for the Lakers. Ayton was 17 and 8, and then Austin Reaves with 38 points and 8 rebounds as well. I'm going to hold off on Luka for just a little bit. I want to talk about Luka in just a little bit, but let me start looking at some of the comments here as we get started. All right, or as we continue to go here on the postgame show. It's always a little more odd when I'm out of my element, but man, it's awesome to be able to just kind of react right after games, do it from the arena. So that part definitely perfect. What is this water ball right here? What is this? What is it? Not cleaning up the place right by? I always throw away my water balls. Who left their water bottle there? All right, let's keep going here. Ayton and Hayes, we get it done. What Hayes have? I see a lot of people telling me that the Lakers bench they're worried about the Lakers bench. I don't disagree with you there. I think the Marcus Smart of it, the Marcus Smart piece will be, they're going to need him obviously coming off the bench. And I think it's also fair to say Lakers need some depth. No question about it. They need some more reliable players. You need more from Jake LaRavia. You need more. Gabe Vincent hit a couple of threes. I think he hit both of them in the first half, but you want some consistency from some of these players. And clearly, a lot of the teams that are going to go deep in the playoffs, they have depth. Lakers have they're very top heavy. They got a really good starting five. I think you got some questions after that. I think that part is fair to say. All right, let me look at some more of the comments here. Hayes was great too. Love the between AD and Austin after the game. Okay, let me talk a little AD here real quick. Did I miss the shadow? You did miss it. I went 6 rounds out here. 6 rounds. I just went all uppercuts, literally the whole time, all uppercuts. I pulled my left shoulder. Let me chat. Let me talk Anthony Davis here real quick, and then we'll continue to go, and we'll hit on some of the different players and everything else. Okay, so AD tonight, I was. Let's say this: Anthony Davis was introduced in the starting lineup. I don't know. I shouldn't have been surprised. I mean, it really shouldn't have been a surprise, but he had a really, really nice ovation from the crowd. I was surprised a little bit. I don't know. Maybe just because he's not a Laker anymore. Not that they were going to boom or anything. I just thought, all right, he's there. No, it won't be overreaction or anything like that. He got a really nice ovation from the fans. Okay. Anthony Davis had something to say. He comes back. This is the 5th game he's played all season. All right. That's it. 5th game he's played all season. And Anthony Davis is going to need a little bit of time. I think it's safe to say, but I wanted to see AD come back. And he had said he was going to play one of these 2 back-to-back games that they have. So they had a back-to-back against, I think they had a Clippers game tomorrow, and then they had obviously this game tonight. And he said, you guys know which game I want to play in. So he wanted to play against the Lakers. All right, I don't blame him. That's a team that traded him, whatever the case is. So AD his final stat line tonight, I thought it was very average. There was nothing Anthony Davis did tonight where I'm like, oh my God, watch out for AD. Now, let me make an excuse for him. I'll make the excuse and just tell you that, all right, it's only his 5th game of the year. He was just out for maybe 14 games, something like that, which is wild, by the way. AD's only played 5 games this year. It's either his 5th game or 6th game, whatever the case is, but it's 5 or 6. Out for 14 games. It's wild to me. And, when people talk about Anthony Davis and we have the conversation about AD and everybody wants to sit here and Anthony Davis may feel like he got disrespected by the Lakers trading and whatever the case is. Guys, this is part of the story with Anthony Davis. He's a phenomenal player, but let's be real about what he is. He's not an alpha. He's not the best player on a championship team, period. He's not going to carry your franchise. He didn't do it in New Orleans. He didn't do it for the Lakers. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just being honest here. LeBron carried the Lakers. LeBron's been carrying the Lakers since he's been here. Not that AD wasn't such a crucial piece of the Lakers championship, one of the best two-way players in the league. We all know that. We all understand that. Everybody understands that. But Anthony Davis is what he is. He's not going to be one of those top 5 players in the league, period. He's just not. And I'm a fan of Anthony Davis. I'm a fan of his game. Watching him tonight, I hope he can help. I hope he can turn things around and kind of get the Mavs back on track. They're 5-15 in the West. They're 10 games below 500. I don't know what's going to happen. They're 20% through the season or 25% through the season, and they've won whatever percentage of the 33% of their games, something like that. I think that's their winning percentage right now. I don't know what you want. Anthony Davis just got in the middle of a trade that involved Luka Doncic, and there was only 3-4 players you could have traded Luka for. Anthony Davis was not one of those players. He wasn't. So I think we all appreciated, loved our time with Anthony Davis, but if this trade didn't happen with Luka Doncic, I got to be honest with you, I'm not really 100% sure what the direction of the Lakers organization was going to be. Maybe they were going to have to trade AD at some point because I don't think there was a post-LeBron era and saying, hey, AD, here are the keys. Go take them away and take us to the promised land. Where Luka Doncic, there is no, hey, Luka, would you like the keys? Luka's like, give me the damn keys. Get in the back seat or in the passenger seat. This is my team. This is my franchise. I'll take you to the promised land. Obviously, we've got a long way to go to see what Luka is, but I think nothing will ever question with Luka. Is he a top 5 player in the league? That's not a question mark. So Anthony Davis, again, just got back 12-5-5. Nothing crazy tonight. But, if I had done my show in the morning this morning, I took this morning off. Monday, maybe I make this more of a topic in a conversation. But certainly the AD chatter and the AD conversation, this is an easy one. There's nothing to talk about. Anthony Davis was a good Los Angeles Laker. He was a great Los Angeles Laker. His time with the Lakers was awesome. He helped them win an NBA championship. He was never going to be the guy, even though we all wanted him to be the case. He told us every year, I can't lead this organization to the promised land. Lakers got a guy that certainly is ready to take his chances and trying to do that in Luka Doncic. All right, let's take a look at some of the comments here. Limo driver Luka. I mean, I'm gonna still wait on Luka. I still want to wait on talking a little bit about his game because he's doing something that is a pretty cool to watch on a night in, night out basis. He's starting to train Laker fans who are already very, very spoiled that my 35, let me see his exact line here real quick. What do you have? 35, 11, and 5. My 35 points, 11 assists, 5 rebounds, me flirting with a triple-double every single game, that is literally the equivalent of you just waking up and scratching your ass and going to take a shower in the morning. That's just what's going to happen. That's his stats. Me taking shots at everybody. That's what we all do. Wake up in the morning, trying to figure out what the hell's going on. We grab a cup of coffee, we take a shower, and we go to work. That's Luka Doncic every night here. He just gets up in the morning. He says, here's a 30-piece for you, sometimes a 40-piece, sometimes a 50-piece, or against Atlanta, a 70-plus piece. And I'm also going to drop a 10, 11, 12 assists a game. And then, what do you need? 7, 8, 9, 10 rebounds. I'll do that as well. That's Luka Doncic. All right, let me look at the comment. I don't even know where I went on a complete tangent. I have no idea what the hell happened. Braun dapped up with Kyrie and Coop after the game too, and then I think he left. AD knows his days in Dallas are numbered. The Dallas team chemistry is bad. D'Lo played only 10 minutes. Time to blow it up. I got something on. I read an article here. Actually, it was during the game because I was trying to figure out D'Angelo Russell and what his season's been like so far. Slee, AD was just as great as LeBron in 2020. AD was phenomenal. He was great. He helped the Lakers win a championship. He's a dominating two-way big. He ain't an alpha. He's not. Listen, there's only a few of them. When you say Anthony Davis, you're not going to say, I mean, these are bad examples, but Kobe can lead a franchise to a championship. Magic can lead a franchise to a championship. Kareem can lead a franchise to a championship. LeBron can lead a franchise to it. You just, it's nothing. It's nothing. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Anthony Davis. You can't. He didn't do it in New Orleans, and obviously he needed LeBron to make it happen here in LA, and that's okay. He's going to have a Hall of Fame career. He's a phenomenal big, but there's different levels to the game. AD will not have been at that level. Maybe he was in 2020. I don't really question 2020 he was phenomenal, and frankly, when he was on the floor, a lot of times he was phenomenal. But the keys to the franchise, there's only a few players you can hand those keys to. All right, let's keep going here. Let me see what we got here. Slee is correct. AD is always a Robin. It's not disrespectful. Like, I don't want people to think I'm saying it disrespectfully. I'm not. Here's another one. 2020 banners have without AD on this team. Guys, I'm not going at AD. Okay? I just have to talk AD and Luka. The guys were traded for each other. Right? That's the only point. Only point is they were traded for each other. That's all. That's the point I'm trying to make here. Mavs fans forgot about Luka. They love Cooper. I don't think so. I think that one's gonna be remembered for a long time. By the way, Cooper Flagg, not bad. Not bad at all. I thought Cooper was solid. I did. I thought Cooper was solid. A little bit better of a facilitator than I thought. What do you have? 13 points, 11 assists, 7 rebounds, and 3 steals. That's a beautiful night if I'm Cooper Flagg. I think he's going to have to develop a jumper at some point. I took some video of him shooting pregame, and I was watching this form. I almost jumped in. I almost wanted to say, like, Cooper, hey, listen, look, brother. I mean, Kennedy Rec Center, I don't know if you remember, 95. 18 points in the first half. By the way, I think I just made up that number. I don't think I've ever in my life had 18 points and a half. But I was looking at Cooper's form. I'm like, this guy he's still so raw. He's got a way to develop. JJ actually mentioned that's an area of his game that you feel like, all right. But he has an all-round game. To be a rookie, listen, that's a good stat line as a rookie. 13 points, took 11 shots. When we took 3 threes, which I think is smart by him. 11 assists and 7 rebounds. That's a phenomenal game if you're Cooper Flagg. That's a really, really nice game if you're Cooper Flagg. All right, let me go all the way to the bottom here. Comments are coming in here. I will cross your ass over, okay? I will Euro step your ass, okay? Can't hit a layup. I will freaking top of the key. I will hit threes on you left and right. You're a bum defender. You're a bum. All right, let's keep going here. I like Cooper. By the way, I think AD was on. I think he was on a minutes restriction too. So I think he was on a minutes restriction. Let me get to some of these supers. Enough of you guys. The people who are paying me. Slee, did you invite Nico Harrison for Thanksgiving? Every Laker fan should have been inviting him to Thanksgiving. What happened to this franchise? Damn, how quick did that change? These guys were in the NBA Finals with Luka Doncic a year and a half ago and then decided to blow it all up. And now the conversation is, are they going to keep AD? Are they going to shop Anthony Davis? We'll take him back. We could really use Anthony Davis. I mean, we don't have much to give in return, but we can use an Anthony Davis. Francis, thank you for the super. I appreciate it. HH, Thank you for the super. I appreciate that as well. Thank you very much for that. I greatly appreciate that. Let's get another one here. Slee, you see the AD LeBron not post-game chat? I did not see it. I was trying to get live here, so I didn't see it. So if I missed it, my apologies there, but I did not see it. Okay, let's take a look at a couple other comments and then keep going here. Let's see. When do we raise Nico's statue? All right, let's get a couple more in here. All right, let's get a couple more in here. All right, let's keep going. Here. Okay, so a couple other things I didn't mention that I do want to hit on. I want to hit on the Luka stuff real quick. So Luka with the 35, 11, and 5. Basically, I think here comes the question with the Lakers. The question with the Lakers is, all right, you already know what Luka's going to do. He's probably going to get you 38 and 8, right around there, give or take. Some nights 35, some nights 10 assists, some nights 10 rebounds, give or take. But that's pretty much what Luka's going to give you every night. Reaves is the one that I think is such a variable because he does have the ability. I mean, some of the shots Reaves was hitting today, hitting threes, driving to the basket, getting under guys, wildly creative, getting to the free throw line. Obviously, his offensive game. I do think there is going to be an area for the Lakers. I don't disagree with people who are talking about the Lakers' depth on the bench. So we'll see, obviously, how that plays out. But I do think that's something that we'll eventually talk about as well. But that is going to have to be something I think the Lakers will have to figure it out. And a lot of it might have to just get figured out with the players that they already have. There might not be a solution here. Not to say that they obviously can't come up with a solution by the NBA trade deadline. But I think the hope is also players like Jake LaRavia. I know Dalton Connect really isn't getting many opportunities right now. So I think a lot of it is also going to depend on which players get opportunities and which players don't. So something to keep in mind there. All right, let me hit on a couple other things here real quick. I did mention this that I was going to eventually hit on scores around the NBA. So part of the reason why, at least for me, that I'm paying attention to scores around the NBA or I want to see scores around the NBA, I got this curiosity of, okay, where are the Lakers at in the standings? I understand it's really early in the season and everything else, but why not keep track? We're 2 games away from being a quarter mark of the season through. Okay, a couple scores around the NBA, something to keep in mind. If I don't hit on certain scores, I just think they're irrelevant games, so I don't care. Hawks over the Cavs, 130 to 123. Actually, 2 decent teams in the Eastern Conference. Sixers are now 10 and 8. They beat the Nets. All right, let me get some. Pistons have lost 2 in a row after that 13, 14-game winning streak, whatever their winning streak was. They lose to the Magic, 112, 109. Something I'm going to try to figure out here is if they've already figured out who the Lakers are playing in the quarterfinals. Knicks over the Bucks. Giannis came back tonight, 30, 15, and 8 for Giannis. What a stud. But Knicks get the win, 118 to 109. Okay, now here are some of the other games that matter in the West. Thunder, 4-point win over the Suns. They're 19-1 now. Spurs, big upset against the Nuggets, 139 to 136. So San Antonio now 13-5. I mean, or 13-5. And they're doing that right now without Wembanyama. Vassell for them had 35 points. Jazz beat the Kings, 128 to 119. And then the Grizzlies beat the Clippers. Oh, my God. Clippers lost again. Clippers are now 5-14 on the season. 5-14 on the season. Okay, let's do some standings here real quick. Let me share my screen and walk through the standings here so we could all look at it together. All right, let me do that real quick. Get this right here. All right, here's where we are in the standings. Oklahoma City Thunder, 19-1. Lakers, 10 games over 500. They've won 6 in a row. They're 4-0 in group play. They're 14-4 on the season. Rockets, 12-4. Spurs, 13-5. Denver, 13-5. The top 5 in the Western Conference is phenomenal. I mean, all of these, what's everybody's winning percentage here? Just look at that, 722 winning percentage or better, top 5 in the Western Conference. Phoenix playing some good ball. Give them some credit. Lakers got them coming up. I think second of a back-to-back. They go Pelicans on Sunday, and I want to say Monday they play Phoenix, and then they're back out on the road for 6 games on the road. And then there's Minnesota. There's Golden State at 500. You can see some of these other teams. Clippers lost again. Mavs 5-15. There's a lot of bad teams in the Western Conference right now. So the Lakers right now overall number 2 in the Western Conference. Where are they? If we did the league, where are they in the league? So just behind the Pistons, 3rd best record in the entire NBA. It's impressive, guys. That's impressive. You should be really, really impressed if you're a Laker fan out there of just what the Lakers have been able to do and the position that they've put themselves in. Just really freaking impressive. Already 14-4, already 10 games over 500, and some other favorable games here before they go on a tough road trip. Okay, next game for the Lakers. I think I mentioned you guys Sunday they're taking on the Pelicans. So where are the Pels? Pelicans right now. Where are the Pels? Second worst or worst? Nope, they're the worst. Pels got the worst record in the Western Conference. They're 3-16. They're 1-9 in their last 10 games. Let's see if they got any of their players back. Trey Murphy. All right, leave that alone. I'm just curious. Jordan Peele out or Jordan Poole. Jordan Peele. Jordan Poole out for Saturday's game, so maybe he comes back when the Lakers play on Sunday. So they're going to be on a second of a back-to-back. They're going to play the Warriors on a Saturday, and then they got the Lakers on a Sunday. And Zion obviously back, so Zion is playing. Let me double-check on that. I just want to make sure here. I mean, worst record in the Western Conference. So Sunday, I don't care what the game looks like. Just try to take advantage of playing the worst team in the entire Western Conference right now in the Pelicans. All right, I want to just see their last game they played. Yeah, Zion was in there. So Zion's probably been back now for a couple of games. Lakers doing work. Pelicans just awful. Just awful. By the way, just a heads up. I think I mentioned this. Let me see if they've already shown the NBA Cup schedule. Okay, can I tell you guys something? Oh man, this is tough for me to say. I don't think, by the way, they've determined the games yet, so we'll have to wait and see whenever those games come out. Is the cup growing on me a little bit? What the hell's going on here? I don't know. Something. Okay, wait. No, we got quarterfinals. Oh, we got some results here. December 10th, Spurs at Lakers quarterfinal game. Okay, wait, what if I tell you guys the cup is growing on me a little bit? What if am I allowed to admit that the cup is growing on me a little bit? I'm looking at this right here. Let me share this with you guys. Let me tell you why it's growing on me a little bit. There's some things that are annoying. The first couple of years, I felt like they were just trying to shove it down my throat. I'm like, relax, not that big of a deal. You guys don't have to shove it down my throat. But I will say that I'm gonna let these guys. I don't need. You can unplug. Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. These guys are all freaking as nice as they get. So I got my laptop plugged in, but I don't need it plugged in. So I'll let these people do their work. Good people around here. Good people. Okay, let me show you guys something here real quick. NBA Cup. So I just saw this on here. Knockout round quarterfinals. Heat at Magic. Knicks at Raptors. Suns at Thunder. Spurs at Lakers. So, badass game. Suns at Thunder. Badass game. Be Lakers Thunder here in the semifinals. Yeah, listen, it's growing on me a little bit. I don't know what to tell you guys. I think it's kind of growing on me, and I don't even know if I have a proper explanation of why it is, but it kind of is. I think what I was telling you guys was almost ended the stream rather than stop sharing. I think the thing that I was mentioning to you guys, I think part of the reason why it might have grown on me just a little bit is maybe there's a little bit more competition. Maybe it doesn't matter because it's just the NBA Cup or it's just regular season games anyways. But I do like the knockout stage. So the knockout stage is not all that bad. All right. It's kind of fun. Suns and OKC was a good game today. Some people don't give a flying F about the NBA Cup, which is fine. You don't have to. I don't blame you guys if you don't like it. So I don't hate the cup. Some people like it. Only thing they had a problem with was the freaking court in the last game. That was an issue. Okay. Let's take a look at some of the comments here, and then we're gonna probably get out of everybody's way. So I don't want to be in these people's way too much. But certainly, really kind of continuing. I'm going to continue to emphasize this. Just impressive basketball from the Lakers. Before we go any further, I'm going to let some of these comments come in. Any topic that you have you want to hit on, start putting it in the comments. I'm going to spend the last 5-10 minutes of the show, however long we go, just reading your comments. Before I do so, shout out to Brad Walsh and the Walsh firm. Shout out to him for being a partner of this channel. Injury attorneys, serious injury, wrongful death case. Brad Walsh and the Walsh firm. We created a URL, wallacewins.com/Sliwa. You guys know the URL. I don't have to tell you. You guys already know that if something's going down and your family or a friend or somebody needs some help and they need a professional, you know what to do. You got to go to Brad Wallace. They can help anybody in the state of California. I appreciate your guys' support of the channel and our sponsors and our advertisers. And obviously, I appreciate the partnership with Brad Walsh and the Walsh firm. So shout out to him, and I appreciate you guys hanging around as I give love to one of the partners. All right, let's look at the comments here, and we'll just spend some time on the comments. Let's see what we got here. Love the video, Sliwa. Why is Laravia out there doing cardio, shake, man? We already got Gabe for that. Yeah, I got a chance last week. I should have posted this. I don't know why I didn't post. I posted something already from Laravia, so I'm like, all right, I'm not going to post that. I asked Jake. I said basically, what's an ideal game for him? They're not going to run many plays for him. You got all these other potent offensive players. What's an ideal game for him? And he said, basically explained, I think his explanation was something to the effect of whatever the team needs, do the little things, play defense, grab rebounds. And I do think that's his strength. I think if Jake LaRavia has a strength with the Lakers, I do think there's a little bit of, how do I explain it? An all-around game that he can bring to the table for the Lakers. Now the question is just going to be, can he do it on a consistent basis? And the answer so far this season is no, he can't. So hopefully that changes. All right, let's keep going here. I will sue your ass tomorrow. Come at me. All right, let's see what else. Oh. I forgot to do this. D'Angelo Russell. So part of my notes here, I have it written down. Guys, is anybody surprised? I was reading an article because, watching the game and seeing some of the starters today, I saw obviously for the Mavs, Ryan Nembhard was starting. And this is a team that's desperate for a point guard. And Ryan Nembhard found his way to get into the starting lineup. And by the way, had a really good game and was really nice. The brother of Andrew Nembhard of the Indiana Pacers, who was a stud during that playoffs run last year and during the NBA Finals, the whole thing. Ryan Nembhard, I'm reading a little bit about him. I'm trying to kind of figure out some stuff about D'Angelo Russell. Is anybody surprised that D'Lo is at the end of that bench for the Mavs? Guys, I don't know what you want me to tell you. I mean, I've said this before. I was hoping he got traded at the trade deadline. He did. That's when the Lakers went out and got Dorian Finney-Smith. I don't know. He just D'Angelo Russell doesn't give me the vibe that this guy cares about the game as some of these other players. He just doesn't give me that vibe. And I'm not trying to get into a playoff run or, a deep run with D'Angelo Russell on my team. And give D'Lo credit. Him and his agent have made a lot of money in the league. They keep kind of figuring out a way to, get money. But that depth chart, you're going to start looking at and Jason Kidd seems like one of those players. He's like, yeah, if I don't feel like I like what I'm getting from you, I'm just not going to play you. I don't care what your contract looks like. I'm just not going to play you. That's kind of where I feel like D'Angelo Russell is at this stage of his career. So it's just, to me, that's what I noticed from D'Lo. You guys can tell me, anything else. But for me, he was never my cup of tea. All right, let's take a look at some of the other comments here. D'Lo was just starting for them a couple days ago. Dallas doesn't know what they're doing at this point. Yeah, listen, I do think they're trying to figure things out, no question about it. But if D'Lo, if he can't get good minutes for a team that's desperate for a point guard, I don't know what to tell you. Slee, number one D'Lo hater, or just telling the truth about D'Lo, whichever one you want. What do you want me to tell you? He's great. You want me to bullshit? I'm not going to bullshit. I'm going to tell you that it's not that good. All right, let's see some more here. All right, by the way, if there's a lot of moving and shaking going around, they're stacking up some chairs and stuff like that. So we'll go for a few more minutes, and then we're going to call it a day. That's awesome. Slee, WWE Survivor Series predictions. Razor Ramon over Jake the Snake. And I think Shawn Michaels and Bret the Hitman Hart. I got Bret the Hitman Hart. That's what I have. That's where I'm going with this. All right. Thank you for your contributions to the chat. We'll go ahead and get that out of there. I appreciate that. Let's get a couple more here. I thought the game changed when Rui started to hit threes. Ayton started to get listen, I talked about it a little bit earlier. Rui had some big-time shots in that fourth quarter. Give Rui a lot of credit tonight. He had some big-time shots. Big-time shots. All right, see if we got a couple more here, and then we're going to call it a day. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys coming on. I will say there's a little bit of I know it's not perfect when I'm out here on site, but I hope you guys know it's also phenomenal to try to, obviously do some shows from the arena. Why are Jared Vanderbilt and Dog Connect not being used? I don't know. I don't know why they're not. To be completely honest with you, I'm not 100% sure. Not 100% sure. Not 100% sure why they're not getting used. And frankly, I think the question is, if you keep winning, that's the only thing that matters. If you're winning, that's truly, truly the only thing that matters. Okay, we're going to wrap it up here. Let's see what we got here. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Let's call it a night. Got a good 40 minutes in or so. Let's let these people do their thing. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Thank you for being here. Lakers over the Dallas Mavericks. Hopefully everybody had a phenomenal Thanksgiving. Okay, wait. Before I get out of here. Let me get a couple of these supers in. Reaves was pretty good on defense today. Reaves was phenomenal all game today on top of his 38 points and his 8 rebounds that he had. Let me get a couple more in here. We got a new member. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Next week we'll have a member show. I got to figure out which day. Maybe I'm going to do it on Wednesday again, but I'll get that coordinated, and I appreciate you being a member. David Sabatini, Pelicans, Suns at home, and a 6-game road trip coming up. Give me a record in those 8 games, Al. I got to look at that. I'm 2-0 on the 2 home games. Let me see the road trip real quick. They are playing got Dallas, there's New Orleans, there's that. Toronto, Boston, Philly, tough. Utah, Clippers, Phoenix. But you got other games. You got the Spurs game coming up. I can't give you a prediction right now. I don't have a prediction. I'm sorry, buddy. I'll say 3-3 on the 6-game road trip, plus the 2. I'll go 5-3. But they got the Spurs game in the NBA Cup that's not on the schedule yet, so that's throwing me off a little bit here. All right. David, thank you, brother. I appreciate the super very, very much. All right, last thing I got here. Hopefully everybody had a phenomenal Thanksgiving. I hope you guys are enjoying a little bit of time off. You're chilling, you're relaxing, you're getting some family time, you're doing your thing. Lakers handle business again. They are 14-4 on the season. Shout out to the Lakers, how well they've been playing. Give these guys a ton of credit, and they've won 6 games in a row. Next game coming up, I mentioned, it's on Sunday at 6:30. Lakers hosting the Pelicans. Looking forward to doing that game, and we'll certainly spend a lot of time talking about that. One thing to keep in mind in regards to that, tomorrow, Sammy will be putting out a video previewing the Lakers and the Pelicans, and then obviously I'll do the post-game show on that game. I will not be here at the game, so I'll just be doing, the regular show as I typically do it. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Friday night. Hope you guys have a good weekend. And I will see you guys on Sunday after the Lakers take on the Pelicans.